we're going to get really tactical in today's webinar, right? So welcome everyone. What we're going to cover today is our new release as of Q3, which is called Direct Connect. It is a new type of lead that we're generating from pay-per-click and social marketing. And what we want to do is share with all of you guys the tips. And first off, an introduction of what the product is. There's a lot of clients on here who are not familiar with Direct Connect, and there are a group of you guys who are obviously using Direct Connect. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share what the product looks like today, and then Barry and I are going to deep dive into a CRM to specifically look at Direct Connect leads and the tips and tricks you should be using to associated with Direct Connect to work these leads effectively, because they are very different from leads that you are working actively today, right? So I have my whole Direct Connect team on the panelist section. They can answer any questions in the Q&A. I recommend if you have questions throughout this, put it in the Q&A, put in the chat message. We've got a ton of people answering questions, and we're going to reserve about 10 to 20 minutes of our time here today to answer questions from the community. So, for all of those of you who are already on Direct Connect, please ask away what your questions are, and we're going to try to answer them live. Again, this is a deep tactical discussion on how we do all the things we do with Direct Connect. Just as a PSA, while we are all here in the beginning of the webinar, as you know, Ylopo, our rep, is we are constantly innovating, and we are in the lab working on new things. In December, we are releasing two brand new, completely free, available to every client tools that will help you win more listings and help you market your listings. And so we will have that webinar as our end of year webinar. I believe it's the second week of December. Mark it on your calendars. You should have already received an email about it. And we will be, giving our end of year summation. Howard and I are preview into next year and what we're going to be releasing in December. That's going to help you win more listings. So really excited about that. All right, let's talk about Direct Connect. So at the very highest level, Ylopo Direct Connect is a technology that leverages our dynamic registration platform, which allows us to change the user path of what questions we ask consumers based on the answers they provide. And our objective was that a lot of our clients came to us and said, hey, we're getting a ton of PPC and social leads. That's great, but we would like less leads that are higher quality, right? So we went into the lab and we said, how do we produce a PPC lead that is at least 2x the quality of normal leads across PPC and social, so that we can actually deliver on the promise of higher quality leads with lower or less higher quality leads that are down funnel, right? So bottom line, we wanted to give you an alternative to expensive bottom of the funnel leads like portals, while maintaining the scale and flexibility cost of traditional PPC leads, right? How does it work? Well, a consumer first starts the journey as they normally would on Google or Facebook. So they're going on Google and they're typing in homes for sale in Virginia Beach, or they're going on Facebook and we're targeting prospective homeowners with listings that they might be interested in. Now, what makes dynamic registration or dynamic Direct Connect different, dynamic registration powering this technology different, is that with that Direct Connect product, we are doing three things with the consumer. Instead of asking the consumer just to give us their contact information, like email address and phone number to register, we are saying, let's ask you up to 22 to 25 questions in order to register and become a Direct Connect lead, right? Now, keep in mind, there are up to 60 different ways that a consumer can ask questions within the registration process to become a lead for you, right? We are going to shorten or extend that registration window based on how quality of a lead that person becomes, right? So in terms of the first phase, we build a home search profile. We ask this person, what are they interested in, property type, bedroom, bath, etc. The second step is that instead of just asking them to give us their contact information, we actually verify their contact information via text and phone call, right? So this is really unique. No one else in the industry is doing this. Instead of just letting them to put in any contact information, we're actually asking them to verify that contact information. And part 3 is we ask them demographic questions that relates to whether or not they actually qualify to become a lead for you, right? So the bottom line is you need to know we're asking consumers up to 20 to 25 questions about their home search experience and their qualification in order to become a lead. You can imagine someone who answers all of those questions is much more serious about buying a home than someone who doesn't. And all the gating that we do is actually scrubbing out consumers that are not as interested, right? That's the idea behind the registration process. So, to emphasize this point, a traditional PPC registration form or social registration form is very straightforward. This is one from one of our competitors. We get your name, email address, and phone number. That's considered a lead, right? In Ylopo registration world, we are taking this consumer down a couple of different branches. So as an example, if we ask the consumer on the left-hand side, have you been pre-approved for a loan? They say, no, I need to get pre-approved. We say a world-class team to help you get pre-approved in minutes. Are you interested? Yes, I like to get approved. And only when they say, call me to get pre-qualified, right, do we actually send them down a pre-qualification path, right? So you can see here, we are taking multiple directions with every consumer. They can tell us they're interested in getting pre-qualified. They already been pre-qualified. They're a cash buyer. They have financial difficulties. This registration experience spirals based on their pathway for what they're actually interested in, right? Same thing for registering as someone who's interested in talking to you as a home searcher prospect. If a consumer says that they're looking ideally to buy a home within 90 days and 3 to 6 months, we say, great, let's build you a customized home search. Can we jump on a phone call to connect? Yes, sounds great. At that point, we capture the phone number. Key to here is we verify via text message or phone number their contact information, right? So these leads that we're generating are significantly higher quality we've seen from the data, which I'll show you in a second, than traditional PPC leads. Now, I'm going to just play you, for the people who have not experienced Direct Connect, one testimonial video that I think really sums up what our Direct Connect leads are about, and we're going to deep dive into specifically the features of the lead when I turn this over to Barry.
Over the last 30 days, we've generated 41 leads, and out of the 41 leads, we have booked 10 appointments. The agents are having great conversations with the buyers, and it's a very easy, warm introduction. The consumer is coming to you asking for information on a specific property, and that consumer is welcoming your phone call. The clients we're not reaching or setting appointments with, a very small percentage, you get a bad phone number, and we're putting them in the bad number campaign, which has been great because some of those clients have come back already and we've been able to have conversations with them. We've also have a lot of people that are a little bit further out on their search, so they're not necessarily ready to commit to the appointment, but they're actively engaged with the agents on the team.
So we are tracking very closely the traffic coming from Direct Connect. We actually capture for every client, for every lead source, all of your stage data for if a lead becomes a hot prospect or not. We call that a qualified lead, right? A lead that is an ABC lead or is a hot prospect or appointment set, etc. And what we found is that after only 2 weeks, 14% of leads say they are at some point interested in pre-qualification. 20 say that they are a hand raiser lead, meaning they're ready to talk to an agent, and 66% are home searcher leads, which means that they are interested in actually looking for homes, right? And we have a 22%.
And so this is all Ylopo customers, right, G? This is
all Ylopo customers on Direct Connect. Yep. And we're seeing a 22.5% hot prospect rate, which we call qualification rate, 24% qualification rate for hand raisers, and 19.5% qualification rate for home searchers, right? Bottom line is our overall qualification rate, 21.2% hot prospects for Direct Connect versus 11.8% for traditional, right? Almost exactly 2x, right? So that was the objective of all of the marketing that we were attempting to do. So at this point, Barry, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Hold on, just before you turn it over, I want you to leave it on the screen. And the reason why I want you to leave it on the screen is, I think sometimes when we talk about like lead gen products and stuff like that, I know a lot of salespeople tend to like put an asterisk next to it and be like, oh, well, that's, they're probably got tons of ISAs, or they probably have blah, blah, blah. They have something I don't have, and therefore I don't have to, I'm not going to expect to have a similar response. And so what Ylopo's done is we've connected all of our users' CRM data. And so, to be able to, when we say qualification, what that's saying is this is all the Ylopo customers and all of their stages that indicate that this is a person that the agent, the user, the Ylopo customer, thinks is a good lead. So 14% of the leads are saying, I want to get pre-approved, and 22% are getting qualified, not for a loan, but like they're talking to the agent, they want to see homes, they want to talk to a lender. 24% of the people that say, please call me about a specific house, and then just people that are looking at homes. So what we're seeing is a very unusual high number of people are expecting to talk to an agent. And I want to lead with that for you guys, because the money is in the conversation. And you're seeing at a low end of 19.5% to a high end of 24% of these leads, the conversations are resulting in people that are wanting to buy or sell a home. This is industry leading and industry changing, because PPC, what's great about it is it's just a bunch of dials, and you can turn up the volume based on your needs. And then lastly, 51% of the direct connect leads responding to Raya, the AI engineers have told us that this is not a normal response rate for artificial intelligence. I would argue that this is the best AI response rate of any lead gen platform in any industry, because it's so unusually high, over half. And I'm going to talk to you guys of what we scripted Raya to say in the first text message. All right, we can stop the screen now. I just wanted to make sure as we go into the CRM data, what everybody else is experiencing.
Yeah, and let me just say, for those of you that are, kind of not on the platform, but on the webinar, because we broadcasted it to all of you, if you go to ylopo.com/Q4, the letter Q and the number 4, you will be able to register for this product in addition to other products that we have released. So there's no additional charge for dynamic or direct connect. You can use it on any level 1 license. And so if you want to leverage direct connect and you're not currently on it, just go to ylopo.com/Q4 releases right here. I'm going to leave this up really fast, and you can register for the direct connect product. Okay, go ahead, Barry.
So I'm getting ready to share my CRM, but those of you that are sharing, you want conversion strategies and things like that, that's exactly what we're doing, okay? And I want to tell you, for the last 6 months, what I've been focused on as a team owner is helping my agents filter website activity, website data with when they register, to get really dialed in. And, one of the benefits of having Ylopo is it creates a lot of activity, right? The leads come back to your website. They're exhibiting specific behaviors that indicate, they want to see a home or they want to sell their home. And it can be overwhelming. And when you have your CRM is supposed to be parsing and organizing the behavior. And a lot of times you guys want my lists or Gabe's lists or what have you. And it's not that our lists aren't good or bad. It's that the lists are actually deciding what you as a business owner want to focus on. And that's subtly a little bit different for everybody based on inventory, maybe there's just a local activity in the market. Everybody's going to have subtle differences. But what I want to show you is having the idea of the fact that people normally don't want to talk to real estate agents. I don't know if you guys have seen those studies, but like the top 3 least excited to talk to industries, I think it's real estate, used car sales, and pastors. Those are like the top 3, like, I don't really want to talk. So Direct Connect, we took the concept of this dynamic funnel and we said, can we create an opportunity for our users, the Ylopo customer, to find leads that are saying, I would like to talk to someone? And that's a really big deal, because if, generally speaking, society doesn't want to talk to salespeople, but Ylopo is to be able to create an opportunity for you to actually have a conversation. There's a lot of money there, even if interest rates continue to climb. Because if the consumer that is in the midst of this economic environment, you know, rates are going up or what have you, all this, whatever happens is going to happen. But if their behavior is indicating that they're interested and they're wanting to get pre-approved, or they already are pre-approved, or they're paying cash for a house, that is a money-making, business-building opportunity. So, oh, I thought I heard something. All right.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, look, from a macroeconomic standpoint, right, we're in a reset. Like right now, this is just a reset stage. And during the reset stage, agents are going to go into one of two camps. They're going to go into the hide under a rock and wait till the reset period's over, or they're going to go into the, no, I'm actually going to build up like this big database of buyers and sellers that once they kind of find their way out of the reset, I'm the one that's been talking to them during that whole period. Like, you don't want to wait till after the reset, right? You want to be just building those relationships right now, right? If they want to wait a little bit longer, but you're the one still working with them and digging in, you're going to be there when they're ready to go. And that's the whole point of it, because I guarantee you that, you know, rates might shoot up a little bit again or whatever, but at some point, like, we're going into, whether it's a mild or moderate recession, and then rates are coming down. Like, that's it, right? Like, rates are coming down and prices will have come down, especially in the markets where they've zoomed up, and people are going to go, because there is a pile of equity, record amount of equity in people's homes. Okay. Record amount of income to debt ratio. Like, the consumers are actually really healthy. They're just kind of resetting right now.
Yeah.
This is the time to build the relationships while there's a thinning of the herd and all the other agents are running for the hills.
Well, yeah. And, you know, look, I call Ylopo's remarketing and Ylopo's direct connect leads, it's kind of like radar. You know, I'm able to sit at my command central station, my CRM, and see who in my market is acting like a potential client. That is insanely valuable. And to be able to sift all the activity on Google and funnel it to 22 plus questions of people that say, I want to talk to you. This is, you know, I've been telling people, the slower I move and the more intentional I am in my business, the more prosperity I enjoy, because I'm hyper-focused. And that's what this product is doing for you as a business owner. It's hyper-focusing. And you notice I keep bringing up remarketing because it's the other side of the coin.
Well, look, we're seeing right now, Barry, a massive shift of folks that have been spending an ever increasing amount with the portals. Like, the cost per connection just keeps going up and up and up and up and up, especially because their volume of home searches has been going down. So it's supply and demand for them. They just charge more, right? Because they have demand from the agents, and or they're taking the 35% from the pockets, right? We're talking to someone later today who is spending like 7-8 figures on portal leads, and they're just done with it. They're getting no volume, right? And this is a fraction of the cost, but for every, you know, 1,000 leads of the direct connect leads, and at that budget, they can spend that easily and still be saving a lot of money. For every 1,000 of those leads, you're getting 200 people who say, I want to get pre-qualified today. There's no better lead. Like, if all we did was sold pre-qual leads to real estate agents, you'd sell them for a lot of money, right? 200 of those, you get 200 people who say, I want to talk to an agent right away. And then you're still going to get 600 people who say, I want to search on your branded site, and the Ylopo, you know, remarketing machine and Raya, the AI, is just going to keep them close to you and keep them off the portals. So if I can get 200 of those, 600 of those for a fraction of what these other guys are charging, not having to pay commission splits, that was why we have worked like for so long, whatever it's been, like a year and a half, to try to solve this pain point. And honestly, guys, like, we were in the lab, and our first iteration of it didn't work. Like it wasn't a measurable improvement, right? G, like, so, so we alpha tested it, we beta tested it. We don't release shit, like we just don't, right? And we had to iterate and we had to spin and we had to improve the product. And then we finally found, G and his team, with testers like Barry and his team and Gabe and his team and others, we found the magic. Like, that's it. That's why we're here today.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, it took us almost a year to figure out the right formula for Direct Connect, right? And that's just what happens. I mean, when you're at the frontier of things, some things work, some things don't. We have over, I think, something like 350 to 400 clients on Direct Connect now, maybe even a little more, which is a lot of people testing this product and making sure that it is even getting better and better. I have meetings almost every day about Direct Connect with my team to enhance the product. So it's just something that's going to get better over time.
Yeah, and it's just especially great for people who are just frustrated with the cost or having to pay these massive referral fees to the portals, and then you don't even own those leads for 2 years, right? The portals own them, whereas these are just yours. These are not ours. We help you generate them, but you own them forever.
So I want to just key in on something that Howard was saying. By finding the intent, right, we're asking questions. Whoever is asking the question is controlling the conversation. And so we're asking questions, we're controlling a conversation, but through the technology that we built, we're actually able to make the consumer feel like they're creating a profile of sorts. And we know that because it used to be you just got name, email, and phone number, and the lead would trade that information to see houses, right? And the consumer didn't really value that, and that makes the cost go up. And so what we've done is we're now asking 13 to 22 questions, and we're taking the questions and then we're creating tags off of them. So I want you guys, if you're at a computer or you're on your phone, I want you to screenshot this because these are really important tags. This is a tag that says, I want you to call me to be pre-approved. This is a tag that says, hey, I know I'm already approved, but I would like to get a second opinion on my rate. So these two tags at the top, what I did was I created an automation and I went to admin automations and I said, anytime you see one of these tags, I want you to do a lender automation. The lender automation action plan, all it does is it adds my lender. So the lender is now on the lead. It creates a note. So it notifies my lender, this lead is asking you to call them, right? Just very simple. This lead is asking you to call them. Then it sends an email to the assigned lender and the assigned agent and says, hey, I wanted to connect the two of you, right? Now, why would I prioritize this? Even Howard said 19% are qualified. That's like the best lead. And you didn't know it, Howard, because you didn't see my stuff. But this was what I was going to go over first, because I agree with you. Somebody that says, yeah, I know about the rates, but I want to get pre-approved. That's someone that says I need a roof over my head, right? It might cost me a little bit more for a loan, but I need to talk with someone. Our close, when we speak to Direct Connect leads, let me just skip to the end. Our close is telling the consumer, this is likely the largest purchase of your life. And you're like my other clients. You're quasi-guessing about the financial side of things. It's really causing you a lot of stress. And what we like to do is we like to empower. People love that word. We like to empower our clients so that they're educated in this process. What I'd like to do next is connect you with my lender. It's a 15-minute phone call just to kind of surround sound this process so that I'm not sending you homes you can't afford. Just this, like literally, we could end the webinar after this. Just this will shrink a PPC lead's nurture from 9 to 12 months to 3 to 5 months. Let me say this again. Getting a lead on the phone with a lender will shrink the time it takes them to figure it all out by, instead of waiting for them to figure it out on their own, 9 to 12 months, it's more like 3 to 4, 3 to 5 months. Because look, this is America. Like when you're ready, willing, and able to buy something, you don't sit on your hands, good or bad. That's just our society. When we want something and we can buy it, we end up buying it. And so by getting the money question out of the way right out of the gate, what you're doing is you're letting them start to enjoy themselves. And when people are nervous, money makes us all nervous. When people are nervous, the part of their brain that they're using is fight or flight. It's hard to make big decisions when you're in that state of fight or flight. They need to relax, get the money out of the way. That's why these questions and these tags for the lender are so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Howard, you've been quiet for a while,
I know a bunch of lenders who are, they're setting their clients at ease right now. They're saying, look, you're going to get do an interest only, right, to lower your payment, do an interest only, adjustable or whatever, right? And they're like, look, like, just make sure there's no prepayment, penalty to refinance. And like when rates go down, you're just going to refinance and it's going to get more affordable, right? So, and look, there's a massive percentage of people who just don't buy and sell based on financial reasons. There are life reasons why they still have to buy and sell. And we're digging those people up who, regardless of where interest rates are, regardless of where prices are, whatever, they just have to. There's a percentage who can wait and they're in the reset bucket. There's a percentage who just, they don't want to, they can't, they've had one of the life events. They're right. And so you should work with them, not your competitor, right? So just kind of having branded advertising out there, like that's not going to work for you to get them, right? You need the people who are raising their hand. That's the point. Raising their hand saying, pre-qualified me today, want to talk to you today, or I want to search on your site, but I still want to buy in the next, 3 to 6 months. And they're responding to Raya. Like 50% of them or more responding to Raya. So that's
absolutely
the point. Yeah.
Hey, Barry, can you show everyone, we created a Direct Connect knowledge base article that has all of the tags we generate. Can you share your screen again and show people how to get there? Because I think I'm seeing some questions around that. So if
how about I just put it in the chat?
Yeah, just put it in the chat. So
Yeah.
we created tags against the most important answers that consumers will give related to their disposition, right? So if you use these tags, you can properly route the lead to the right lender.
Yeah. And somebody asked for more of the tags that I use to kick off the integration. You can copy these from that Zendesk article. So if you don't have them in your CRM yet, and this is called tips and tricks, right? So look, those of you that don't have a lender, this is what I need you to do. Go back over the last 12 months of your transactions, every single one where you or your team represented a buyer. What I want you to do is I want you to call those lenders and say, hey, listen, I got an opportunity. We had a great transaction back, blah, blah, blah. And I thought of you first. I'm getting leads that are asking when they register to either get a pre-approval, to have a lender call them, or to get a second opinion on their pre-approval. And I don't have somebody that I'm sending those to. I can automate it. I'm wondering if you wanted to partner with me on some of the ad spend. So what I'm doing is I'm not going to some stranger, this lender that I talked to once, and saying, hi, can I have your credit card number? That doesn't work. What you do is you say, hey, I'm getting this thing, or I'm about to get this thing that you want. I thought of you first, wanted to know if you wanted to buy in on it with me. I'm letting you guys know ahead of time, this will work. Lenders don't mind spending money if they think they're actually going to get something valuable. How much is a lending tree lead?
By the way, Barry, it's not just the direct ROI value from this product, which is there. It's I'm the lender that's going to have a great, strong relationship with Barry.
Right. I'm just trying to get them money right out of the gate. And when you go to a lender that you haven't really spoken with and you say, hey, can I have some money? It's hard to say, hey, you'll have a great relationship with me. That doesn't sell really well. What does sell really well is, hey, do you want to partner with me on some people that are saying they want to get pre-approved? That sells. you know, some of our users, they don't have that relationship with a lender like I do. Like I do have lender partners that are partnering with me, but not everybody does. And so I saw in the chat where a few people were asking, what if you don't have somebody, what should you do? And so I wanted to make sure, I've had a lender partner partnering with me for over 10 years, helping me to cover the costs. There was something else I was going to say about all that.
Yeah, and just to be clear, guys, I saw this message. You know, your lender partners are able to contribute to our Direct Connect. It is co-marketing. It is marketing both you and the lender. And so there is no reason that it cannot cover that marketing portion.
Right. I mean, we're not attorneys. You have to get advised. We're not in the settlement, you know, statement. So you guys have to get advised by your own attorneys. It's a legal disclaimer in terms of RESPA. But the point is that with this program, there are leads who are saying, I want to talk to a lender. Like those are lender leads, right? And they're going to go to your lender. Your lender's paying for their own marketing, basically, right? They're not just paying for like your marketing, and now they're just trying to build this relationship with you. Like that's the point. So that's what their compliance department probably doesn't understand, right? They shouldn't be paying more than you, right? And all these other things. Again, we are not RESPA attorneys.
But Ylopo works directly with that compliance department at the mortgage company, right? Like when the lender contacts and says, "Hey, I want to partner with
most compliance departments, once they understand what we're doing, that the lenders have full access to all of these leads, right? They're not just paying for you know, someone else's marketing program, that they have full access to all of it. Most of the compliance departments say, okay, you know, we got it, like we understand, right? And yeah, occasionally if you get a lender whose compliance department doesn't understand it, they don't understand it. Get a new lender whose compliance department understands it, right? You know, so and honestly, if I'm working with a lender and they want to be my best friend all the time, but then they're not willing to invest in a co-marketing relationship for leads that go directly to them, you know, I have to call into question that, you know, that relationship. But I think we've kind of beaten this topic up. Barry, you want to say one more thing?
Hold on. But before we, I know we have gone over it a lot and people are wondering why. It's because this is like a really good opportunity for you if you're getting Direct Connect, and I don't want to overlook it. And a lending tree lead is hundreds of dollars. It goes to like 5 mortgage companies. Lenders hate it. They don't like it. They don't like the competition. This is an individual lead that's not going to anybody else, and you can double your marketing spend. All right, sorry.
So Barry, I want to keep going here. So we collect, you know, in orders of magnitude more data in regards to Direct Connect leads versus other leads, right? Can you talk to how you're going to use this data when you're actually talking to a client?
And the other thing, another topic, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the RIA Live pilot and experiment and what our folks will be saying and what they won't be saying, and why potentially it could be important from a speed to lead, you know, standpoint. And then like, once you do that, I'd love to take a quick poll in here and see how many folks here are like, nope, we got this. You know, we got the people that could be right on these leads. We don't need your guys. Or like people saying like, I don't even like, no matter how good these are, I don't have people to call these leads. We want some help with calling the leads. So I would love to get into that a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can already tell you it's going to be like over 90% want somebody calling for them. They just, all right. Anyway, so this is a lead that came from Facebook, but it's still a Direct Connect lead. And so what's fascinating about this is they're going through the funnel. So here's some of the data points, right? They'd be interested in a call. They want us to verify their number via a phone call. They do plan to buy, but they're saying they just want to browse a little bit, but they did say they want to call now. So this would be a tag in your CRM that you would create a list off of all the leads that say call now equals yes. That's that tag. Some additional data points. They don't have an agent. They're using cash. This is their first purchase, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 to 2,500 square feet. So I'm going over all these data points because they just spent a long time thinking about these answers and going through. Raya, what I did for the initial text is it was a very subtle change. She says, she uses the phrase home search profile. the way that the questions are being asked and the way the funnel adapts to the answers, it feels like you're creating a profile. It doesn't feel like a trade anymore. And you want to capture that same vibe. And so when you call and you introduce yourself, you want to say something along the lines of, hey, this is Barry with ABC Realty. I know that you've been working on your home search profile on my website, and I had 2 questions I wanted to ask you. That's if you leave a message. Always say you had 2 things that you wanted to share, or 2 questions that you want to ask. And use the phrase home search profile because you're identifying with what they just went through. They probably spent like 3 minutes. That's a long time on your phone to go through a funnel. You know, that's intense. And they're saying either call me or have a lender call me. So use that phrase home search profile in your text messages and in your voicemails. When you call them, initially say who you are and who you're with, right? You're not a telemarketer. They just created a home search profile on your website. They walked into your virtual office and they filled out the home search profile. You don't need to be their best friend, right? Like, you know, some of you are so nervous when you do your initial call. Hi, this is Barry with Better Homes and Gardens. Just relax. They created a profile. They've come to you, and now you are doing them a service and calling them in a reasonable amount of time. And
yeah, so people understand, like, there is a price to pay, and G, you can comment on this. There is a price to pay for the fact that we are getting so much more information that the consumer, the buyer and seller is putting in there, right? So much more information. So, you know, you could be talking about, you know, on a pure, whatever, pay-per-click lead, where we get very little information, and then we're going to try and compile information over a long period of time as we're watching their search. That pay-per-click lead could be what, G, like $10 or something like that?
Like a normal pay-per-click lead, you know, not
Fully loaded,
today's obviously winter, right? But it like average nationwide in a year, let's call it 10 to 11 bucks.
Okay.
This is a lead that's, you know, double that.
So Direct Connect, we're talking about what, 3 times
20,
that?
20, no, not 3 times that. Maybe like 20 to 25 in that range.
Okay, so 2 to 2.5 times more expensive, goes from like $10 to 20 to $25, right? So, right, but you got so much more information, and you got hand raisers in there, like 40%, right? You know, we're basically saying either talk to an agent now or talk to a lender, right? 60% still want to be left alone to search, all the automation. But then you go all the way up, like, we're talking to people now where it's $300, $400, $500 a connect for portal leads, right? So if you've got like $25 for a Direct Connect lead, and now you're going up to, you know, $250 for a, you know, a portal connection, that's 10x as more expensive. It's 10x. You can convert this at 10% of what these are to have the same cost per close, right? So the economics, when you think about, you know, I got to spend money on marketing, and I could be like these pay-per-click leads, Direct Connect leads, or these super expensive portal leads. You really need to think about not what is your conversion rate. You need to think about what is your cost per close. I just lectured on this last week at FubCon. What is your cost per close? And when you have to, you know, when you can get a pile of leads to feed yourself and your team versus very, very few leads at like $200, $300, $400 a lead, like that's not going to feed anyone. And your cost per close is going to be like half your commission check. It just makes no sense. And again, that's the pain point that we're trying to solve for our clients that we see out there. And let's segue into a little bit, G, talking about the idea behind Raya Live. Raya is the automated chatbot. Raya Live is us actually having a call center that does something. What is it that they would do, and what is it they would not do?
Yeah, so the idea behind Raya Live is that for your Direct Connect leads, our team of ISAs are specifically trained to work with these leads, right? So they're going to call the leads 8 to 10 times in the first 2 weeks because these are leads that are highly engaged. And our goal is to hot transfer these leads over to you as soon as possible. So as I mentioned earlier, and I'll flash up in the...
What would be like, let's just really get into it. Like, what would be an example like script on our end that we're piloting that would then get a hot transfer over to the agent?
We have a full, you're catching me on the spot here. We have a full-time ISA trainer that was one of our ISA managers for our best clients, who is full-time dedicated to scripting. That's not my domain, right? I don't, know every single script that consumers are working. I will say that we are going to test this with 100 clients in December. If you go to ylopo.com/4Q releases, our first 100 clients are going to get on the ISA platform for free. We're not going to charge you, right? And only over time, as we establish confidence with these leads, will we charge you. And when we do charge you, it's $6 a lead flat, right? It's very cost effective. But bottom line is, they are going to be trained with Direct Connect scripting. And we are going to be calling those leads 8 to 10 times over the first 2 weeks so that we get the maximum connection for you.
Yeah, and G, let's keep it going like after Christmas, because we know literally the day after Christmas, like that traffic is going to go through the roof, right? That's what we've seen every year. So let's make sure we kind of extend it through that just to see if there's any, behavior difference.
Yep, that's fair. Yep. So Q4releases.com, Ylopo.com/Q4releases, you can sign up for Raya Live as a demo, and we will contact you when we're ready to release that.
Someone had asked in the chat, G, like just a generic question, are there any promotions? So, and I don't know, like, is there anything from a promotion standpoint, if someone tried Raya Live now, or anything that we're offering on Direct Connect to people that are, on this webinar? And I may fall flat on my face because we may not have it. But
sorry, I was responding to chat messages. Say it one more time.
Okay. So someone had asked in the chat, is there anything from a promotion standpoint for people that are on this webinar, either when it comes to Raya Live or Direct Connect, that we are offering or can offer?
Yeah. So Direct Connect, like I said, it's not so much a promotion, but if you are on level 1 license, you're eligible to be doing BPC. We are not going to charge you any fees for this product that we spent a year developing. You are just paying media associated with the product. You can spend up to $1,200 on the platform, and we are not going to charge you any fees, right? So it is not free in the sense that you still have to pay money toward media, right? But we are not charging you any Ylopo fees. When it comes to Raya Live, the first 100 clients who sign up for Raya Live, we have
a media, just to be clear, we have a media and data management fee on all media that we manage, but there's no license level. Like normally you'd have to go up a license level to add all that media, and we're not doing that. So you do not have to go up your tech, right? Up your technology platform fee. There's no additional platform fee, but all media, because we've got to be very transparent, all media, we have a media and data management fee. But in the scheme of things, it's, these leads are all in what we talked about before from a cost standpoint.
I do want to get a little bit
with Raya Live, so I'm clear. First 100 users are getting it free, and we will expand it from there. So you can sign up on Q4 releases.
Okay, so first 100 get Raya Live call center for free, and then we might expand that based on how the test is going. Right, G?
Yes.
He's answering the chat. Okay, cool. What's up, Barry?
All right. So just want to give everybody that's watching kind of a plan of action of how I'm running my team. There's a few other tags that we're really excited about, but let's just get right into it. I break up follow-up into 3 buckets, okay? Bucket 1 is anybody that's new. What I want you to do is I want you to call them a lot, okay? And you say, what's a lot? That's different for everybody, different discussion. But for the first 10 days, I want you to try really hard. Create a list for the first 10 days, and I want you to try to talk to the people. If you talk to them, I want you to label them hot, warm, or cold with your stages or your status, hot, warm, or cold. Now, after 10 days, Raya's texted them a whole bunch. They've asked to be called. They say, call now. You texted them. One user said, what happens if they don't answer? Raya's texted, the listing alerts have gone out, your drip emails have gone out, you've called, they have not responded, okay? What I want you to do, they haven't earned any more of your time. I want you to shift your focus to the second bucket. This is anybody that's older than 10 days that you've never spoken to, but they're acting interested. Make your second focus of your day people that are triggering priority alerts and are on your website. And I really want you to focus a lot of time on those, because these are people that, yes, they registered, they asked for a call, maybe they walked into a meeting and they didn't answer their phone right away. I know I've had several instances where I contacted a business, I said, please call me, and then I just got honestly tied up, and they never followed up with me, and they never got my business. So you've got to be the one that stays focused on the people that are behaving like they want to talk to you. Then after you talk to these people, so what's great about Direct Connect is it's teeing up people that are saying, I would like to talk to an agent. But a conversation with the lead only matters if you make money off of that conversation eventually as a business owner. You know, you're not in the business just to talk, you're in the business of buying and helping people buy and sell real estate. So what I want you to do is when you talk to these people, you need to ask them questions that lead them down the path of discovery. So you start the conversation by saying, you bring up the home search profile, right? Hey, I know you've been creating your home search profile. Tell me a little bit more. What are you hoping to change about where you live right now in this transition? People love to complain about where they live. And so they're going to start talking to you. You're going to have a moment to relate, right? And then you're going to say something along the lines of, okay, well, I see in the notes here, looks like you've been pre-approved. Have you updated that recently? Do you have a good handle on what you can afford? You know, and start working through the finances and things like that. And then at the end of the conversation, what you need to do is you need to have a logical next step. The conversation cannot end with, do you mind if I email you and I'll check on you occasionally? Please stop doing that. You need to have a direct course of action with them based on the conversation you've had. So when you have this conversation, you've got some details. What you need to do is you need to go from just responding to prescribing. And a phrase I really like, based on what you've told me, my other clients have, right? Based on what you've told me, my other clients have gotten pre-approved, come to the office and had a buyer consult, went and looked at a property for fun, visited open houses with me. I don't care what it is, but you need to take this conversation that's high level, right? They did want to talk, but then they kind of back off as soon as you get them off the phone. You guys know what I'm talking about. And what you do is you need to talk to them about what they want as far as a home, and then you need to tell them what they're going to do next. Some easy wins are call the lender, meet at the office to review the process, go look at some open houses together, go look at a home together. If you're going to look at a home, I would use the statement of something along the lines of, you know what, based on what I've heard and this discussion with you, my other clients have appreciated being able to look at a home without any pressure. So this is what we're going to do. You tell me what day. I'm going to take you to one house and you're not allowed to buy it. I'll say that again. Based on what you're telling me, my other clients have really appreciated being able to go look at one home to experience what it looks like and what they can afford in this market. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to pick a day and you're going to look at one home with me. You're not allowed to buy it. We're just going to go look at it together, right? What happens when you get them in that home and they visualize what they're able to afford and you're able to shake their hand and they see that you're not strange and you're a nice person, what happens is you make that connection. Now, if they're not ready to look at homes or they rebuff, that's okay. What you do is you still have a logical next step. I'm going to send you another list of homes. I want to call you on Wednesday and review the homes that I sent you. I want to hear what you loved and what you hated about it. Wednesday, is it okay if I call you in the evening and I'll confirm in the morning? Logical next step. Just because Ylopo, Howard, you need to plug your ears. Just because Ylopo is providing you leads that want to talk to you, it doesn't mean that they're ready to buy. You have to lead them down the path of discovery. If you don't do this, you'll just be somebody's fake friend. Oh yeah, I shop at the same grocery store as you. Oh, that's so great. Okay, how about I call you in 3 months? We'll check in. And they're the leads that you call 6 months later, and they ended up buying with an agent that held an open house. And it's frustrating because you're trying to make a living. And it's all because you're hoping that when you call them, they say, I'm so glad you called. Can we go look at 123 Smith Street?
And Barry, I think the idea is to really be their consultant. They feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
They feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be on the one extreme, buy a home this week or you're a loser, right? Sales pressure. And it should be, yeah, I want to be your Starbucks friend. And then they found out that, you know, when they have Starbucks with you, they bought and sold to someone else. But there's a really important middle ground that not enough people are trained on, which is to be that trusted advisor, to be that consultant, and to be no pressure. Like, I get it, you know, like, I understand this could take you a while and when you're ready, but in the meantime, let's see some homes. Let's talk about it. Like, don't lose touch with it, right? And I actually know someone who I said to them, like, I know it's gonna take you a while, but like, at least you know you want to buy here. Let's go see one. Let's go see one today. Like, let's just go see a house, right? And my fiance is an agent. I'm not, but my fiance is an agent. Like, let's go see it. And we went, and it was perfect. And they wrote an offer. They wrote an offer that night. Okay. And they are so happy. They're so beyond happy. And it was like, you know, my instinct was like, let's just start working together, even though I know it's going to take a long time. Right. And I think most agents, including my beautiful fiance, were just like, well, that's really pushy, you know, but they're forever happy. And you know, and that's what happened, right? So anyway, you can comment on it better than me, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, what we need to all understand is that if we're going to call a stranger, this amazing direct connect lead that just called 22 leads, if we're going to call this stranger and set the expectation that they're going to meet our emotional need to feel approved of and accepted, we are going to be sorely mistaken, and it's not fair to this stranger on the other end of the phone that just registered to create a home search profile for me to come on and be discouraged because they're not excited to talk to me right away. We should be so selfless, not self-centered and to meet our own needs, but so consumed with the fact that this person registered under the assumption that they were creating a profile so that they could have a leader call them, have a conversation, a 3-minute conversation, make an assessment, and prescribe what the next steps are. If you master what I've just shared with you, the last 10 minutes, I guarantee you will always have an abundance of opportunity, because there are more people that are in the middle of their journey that haven't quite figured out what they're going to do, that need leadership. But what Zillow has taught us as real estate agents is to only have one kind of conversation. Hi, would you like to see a house? Yes. Okay, when? This weekend? Great. I'll open the door for you. They've relegated our role to door openers, waiters, and waitresses. If you are going to make money with middle of funnel opportunities, which is what Ylopo is providing you, middle of funnel opportunities, tons of information that want to talk to an agent but aren't sure yet. And so you guys are calling these leads and you're not quite sure. You're getting them on the phone and they're like, oh, you know, it could go either way. Just lead them. Stop being nervous and thinking that you're bothering them. You're being selfish. Focus on them. And if you can work through 3 questions in 3 minutes, it will be awkward. You'll be nervous. You have to have courage. You don't need courage if you're not afraid. The only time you need courage is when you do something afraid. So be afraid, do it anyway, ask 3 questions, and then prescribe behavior. There you go. There's your tips and tricks. Make lots of money, guys.
Love it. Love it. We're at the very end of the hour. So G, any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thought is Direct Connect is a new offering from us. We developed it because we heard so much feedback from clients that they wanted a higher quality lead that is lower volume, but higher cost, but higher quality. You can try it with your PPC budget. And if it doesn't work, switch it back to what you were doing before, right? This is a no harm trial, right? So you don't have to necessarily try this. If it doesn't work, you know, great, you're out of luck, right? If what you're working right now is working and you want to try something that might work better, go try it and then come back if it doesn't work, right? So I just want to emphasize that, you know, again, there's no risk for you to give this a shot, but if it doesn't work, you can certainly revert back to what was working for you before. Barry?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is a higher intent conversation, right? But some of you might need more at bats as you master this skill, right? You know, one of the complaints people have is oh, you know, I've been calling all day and da 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 da. Look, I'm telling you guys right now, if you master what I've said, if you become an expert at what I just shared, get the recording and listen to it over and over and over again, I'm telling you, you will always have an abundance of opportunity. Nobody else is doing this. This is a very unique approach, and you'll have a lot of luck. You'll make a lot of money.
Guys, I think you guys delivered a lot of value today. You know, we care deeply about our clients. Our clients are family. We understand that these are, you know, challenging times. There's a reset period going on macroeconomically, but as I lectured last week, what goes up comes down, but the great news is what comes down goes up in terms of our business. And it's the down periods where we see a lot of agents and teams fold, and the strong survive. And the strong are those that are doubling down and are investing, because all those relationships pay off on the upswing. So this is the time to use products like Direct Connect to take a ton of market share when the others are taking off.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. And just saying, George Foshin is super happy with the webinar. So I just want you guys to know that George is not.
We make George happy, man. We know we did an okay
George
job.
He doesn't play games. If he's not happy, he'll tell you. He's happy right now. He's happy with the webinar. And email me, George, Barry at Ylopo. I'll send you.
Look at this. Look at this. Mary Byrne, our team has done phenomenal on the program. I have 2 that just went into contract the last 2 weeks, and we've been on it since the end of September. Bam, end of story. We did not pay Mary to post that. So thank you, Mary. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, G. Till next time, everybody.
Sounds good. Thank
you, everyone.
All right. Bye.